commence primary ignition.
Chewie, get us out of here!
Fire the emergency booster engines!
We'll be safe enough once we make the jump to hyperspace.
At last, we will review more news on the podcast.
Don't strap yourselves in. I'm going to make a jump to light speed.
Welcome to Star Wars Launchpad, a new kind of podcast experience brought to you by Star Wars Escape Pod. We call this a flashcast. Using the power of AI, we bring you an immersive experience to explore Star Wars news. Full AI disclosure, some details may not be fully accurate. Either way, we hope you enjoy the experimental deep dive ahead with your AI hosts, Dak and Mia.
Welcome to the Star Wars Launchpad, brought to you by Star Wars Escape Pod.
Today we are diving deep into two really massive shifts in the galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, they're huge and they're interconnected. On one hand, you've got a major creative and operational change right at the top of Lucasfilm.
And on the other, something a little more immediate for the fans, a huge expansion of the experience at Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge, at Disneyland.
So for you listening, the mission today is to really distill the strategy behind all this. We're going to move past just the headlines.
Right, we want to figure out why this is all happening now and, what it tells us about where Star Wars is heading.
We've got to unpack this fast because it affects everything from the long-term stories to the fun you can have in the park tomorrow. Okay, let's get into it, starting with probably the biggest tremor at Lucasfilm in years.
We have to start with Kathleen Kennedy. After 12 years leading the studio, she's transitioning roles.
12 years. I mean, that is an eternity in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And the key thing here is she's transitioning, not leaving entirely.
Exactly. The sources are really clear on this. She's moving from president and chief creative officer to a producing role. She's going to be focusing entirely on the upcoming films.
Which is smart. That's her background.
It is. And they specifically mentioned she's producing the Mandalorian and Grogu film and the new Star Wars Starfighter movie.
Okay, so that keeps the proven box office heavyweight focused on the big screen. But that means there's a new leadership structure running things day to day. Who's got the reins now?
It's a dual leadership. Two longtime veterans they've been central to Lucasfilm's success for decades, really.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Dave Filoni stepping up as executive creative officer.
The big one. The one everyone's been waiting for.
Yeah, and then you have Lin-Wen Brennan taking the role of co-president and chief operating officer.
Let's just pause on that for a second, because Filoni's new title, executive creative officer, that's key, isn't it? He basically holds all the storytelling keys to the kingdom now.
He really does. I mean, the sources stress it's a collaboration, but functionally, yeah. Filoni now officially oversees the creative direction for everything. Film, TV, animation, all of it.
So he's the guy making sure Ahsoka lines up with The Mandalorian,
yeah,
and then lines up with the new movies.
Exactly. It's formalizing the job he's kind of been doing organically for years, ever since the Clone Wars.
Okay, so if Filoni is the story master, then Brennan is the studio mechanic. Her title, co-president and COO, sounds much more focused on the operational side.
That's a perfect way to put it. It clarifies the division of labor. Filoni decides what stories get told, and Brennan manages the budgets, the tech, the whole infrastructure you need to actually make it happen.
And her background is perfect for that.
It's incredible. She's been with Lucasfilm since 1999. It started at ILM Industrial Light and Magic.
Right.
And she's been president of Lucasfilm Business since 2015. She's all about the innovation and the technology side of things.
So, story expert paired with an operational expert. That sounds stable. I also found Kennedy's own reflection on this pretty interesting. She called it the next natural step.
That's the official line. And look, she's earned the right to choose her focus. Her legacy is just staggering. I mean, she's led Lucasfilm since Disney bought them back in 2012.
Yeah.
Her tenure gave us The Force Awakens. It's still the highest grossing film in the franchise's entire history, over $1 billion worldwide.
Which sets an almost impossible bar for the new team to clear.
It does, and not just the box office. She also oversaw the huge shift to TV. I mean, without her, you don't get The Mandalorian or Ahsoka. That whole new content engine for Disney Plus.
True. The awards speak for themselves, too.
Oh, absolutely. Across her career, something like 79 Emmys and 25 Academy Awards or nominations. It's a powerhouse record.
Okay, but let's play devil's advocate for a second. The phrasing, natural step, is very careful. We know Lucasfilm has struggled to get new movies off the ground lately. Could this move, with her just producing, be a quiet signal from Disney that they're shifting focus away from the big risky films and more toward the streaming stuff that Filoni's a master of?
That is the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? Filoni's whole expertise is building these long, interconnected series. Building up the lore piece by piece. His elevation is a huge endorsement of the TV strategy.
And now he has the final say. Across everything.
Across everything. So yeah, the succession plan is clear. Kennedy executes on the films, while Filoni and Brennan build out the whole creative universe and the business to support it.
It's a shift designed for stability, but it definitely elevates that serialized storytelling view.
Exactly. It's an evolution.
Okay, so that covers the C-suite. Let's now see how that new vision is hitting the ground, because we're going from the boardroom right into Blackspire Outpost. This is where it gets really interesting for anyone visiting the parks.
Yeah, the character experience at Galaxy's Edge is changing in a big way, and you can see the new mindset in action already.
Absolutely. I mean, the biggest news, after years of rumors, Darth Vader is officially at Galaxy's Edge. The Dark Lord is on Batuu.
Which completely changes the feel of the land.
It changes the stakes.
Yeah.
You go from being a cute rebel sympathizer to maybe getting cornered by the actual Sith Lord.
Right. And he's not alone. Guests can run into him and his whole Imperial entourage, the Royal Guards, stormtroopers, the works. The sources talk about his commanding presence. It's a huge deal.
It makes the place feel genuinely dangerous. But he's not the only massive addition. We're finally getting the Mandoverse duo confirmed.
Din Djarin and Grogu.
Yep, the Mandalorian and Grogu.
And they handled their intro really cleverly. They're often seen near the speeder garage, sort of checking out equipment. It grounds them in the whole scoundrel and bounty hunter vibe of the outpost.
And you still have Ahsoka Tano appearing, plus Boba Fett and Fennec Shand. The list of A-list characters you can see now is exploding.
It's a monumental shift in the park's strategy. It really reflects what they learned under Kennedy, prioritize that character connection.
Because if you remember, when Galaxy's Edge opened, it was locked into this very specific moment in time.
Right, the sequel trilogy. First Order versus the Resistance. That was it.
It was a bold choice for immersion, but it meant you couldn't see a lot of fan-favorite characters. You basically got Rey, Kylo, Chewie, and some troopers.
And that left out, generations of fans who grew up with the originals or just fell in love with Mando.
So this expansion it throws that strict rulebook out the window. Which brings up the big question. Why now? Why abandon that chronological purity?
Well, the analysis seems to be that blending the timelines actually enhances the experience for the average guest.
You think so?
I do. It moves the land from being like a museum for one specific chapter to a dynamic celebration of the biggest hits from all of Star Wars.
It maximizes that aha moment. When you go to the park, you just want to see the characters you love.
Exactly. And if the price of seeing Darth Vader is a slightly blurry timeline, I think most people are happy to pay it. It's about emotional connection over, strict canon keeping inside the park.
And it connects right back to the leadership change we were just talking about.
It does, perfectly.
Yeah.
The new structure, with Filoni on top, is built on the success of the Mandoverse. And what's the first thing they do in the park? They prioritize those characters, Mando and Grogu, along with the ultimate icon, Vader.
It's basically an admission that the greatest hits need to be front and center.
So what does this mean for the future of the park experience? Especially when you factor in Lin-Wen Brennan's background at ILM.
That's a great point. Her whole thing is tech and innovation.
Right, so maybe this isn't just about more characters. Maybe it's about deploying new tech to make those interactions feel even more real, more customized. You could see them using some of that ILM virtual production magic in the physical park space.
That'd be amazing. It's not just who is there, but how they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the huge takeaways here.
On the corporate side, the foundation is shifting. Kennedy is focusing on producing the big films.
And the new leadership is a balance. Dave Filoni, the storyteller, as executive creative officer.
Paired with Lin-Wen Brennan, the operational and tech expert, as co-president and COO.
And on the fan side, Star Wars. Galaxy's Edge is blowing up its character roster. Darth Vader, Din Djarin, Grogu.
Yeah.
It signals a clear pivot away from a strict timeline.
Yeah, and toward just maximum fan joy. It's all about satisfaction.
So the sources really underscore the massive success Lucasfilm has had with episodic TV, especially with Filoni. And that success, plus the new structure, leaves us with a final provocative thought for you to think about.
With Kennedy now focused exclusively on the big budget films, and Filoni's expertise being so rooted in serialized content, how will that new leadership influence the balance?
Are we going to see those huge billion-dollar blockbusters define the next chapter of Star Wars?
Or will the deep, interconnected, long-form series, the Mandoverse, the Ahsoka saga, will that remain the dominant creative and financial engine under Filoni and Brennan? Which format, at the end of the day, is going to win the battle for the future of the galaxy?
Something to think about until next time. Thanks for joining us on the Star Wars Launchpad. We'll see you in the next corner of the galaxy.
I'm glad you're here to tell us these things.
This AI experimental show we call a Flashcast has been brought to you by the podcast Star Wars Escape Pod. With AI being harnessed in all things across the galaxy, this is just a fun way we've used it to bring some Star Wars joy, news, and headlines to you ad-free as always. Consider subscribing to this show for more. Follow our main podcast with humanoids only over at Star Wars Escape Pod. We're currently found on YouTube, X, and Blue Sky using the handle at SW Escape Podcast. Check the description for relevant links and the sources for your news this week. Consider dropping a kind review for the show, reviewing any important facts for yourself, and sharing this with a friend. We hope you enjoyed the episode. This is Star Wars Launchpad, signing off. May the Force be with you.